The moon hung low over the river, like a cracked gourd spilling silver light onto the black water. The air was thick with the scent of wet earth, rotting mangrove roots, and the faint, sweet musk of night-blooming water lilies. Frogs croaked in the reeds, their chorus broken only by the occasional splash, something large, something other, slipping beneath the surface. On the bank, a girl stood barefoot, her feet sinking into the mud, her body trembling not from cold, but from the weight of what she had done. Her name was Amara. She wore a white wrapper, the cloth once bright and pure, now stained with river silt and tears. Her hair, usually braided with red beads and cowrie shells, hung loose and wild, tangled with strands of river moss. In her hands she clutched a single perfect lotus blossom, white as bone, glowing faintly in the dark. She looked down at the water. Her reflection wavered, then stilled. But it wasn't her face that looked back. It was the face of a man, pale as moonlight, eyes like deep pools, hair like black kelp, skin shimmering with the iridescence of fish scales. His mouth moved, not in anger, but in sorrow. "You promised me forever, Amara." The voice came not from the air, but from the water itself, rising like a sigh from the riverbed. "You said you would stay." Amara's breath hitched. Her fingers tightened around the lotus. "I tried," she whispered, her voice cracking like dry reeds. "I tried to live in your world, but my mother, my father, they mourned me. They lit lamps for the dead. They said I was taken by the river. They said I drowned." "And so you did," the river spirit replied, his voice gentle, terrible. "You died the moment you chose me. The river does not take, it transforms." She fell to her knees, the mud swallowing her legs. Tears cut tracks through the grime on her face. "I want to go home," she sobbed. "I want to smell my mother's soup again. I want to hear my little brother laugh. I want to walk the market without fear. I want to be seen." The water rippled. The spirit's face faded, replaced by the dark, shifting surface. Then from the depths, a hand emerged, long fingers webbed slightly at the tips, nails like polished obsidian. It reached for her. "Then you must choose," the river said. "Come back to me, or walk away and be forgotten. Not just by me, by all the rivers, by the ancestors, by the very earth beneath your feet. You will walk the world, but you will never truly belong. You will be a shadow, a whisper, a memory no one remembers." Amara stared at the hand. She remembered the first time she saw it, how it had risen from the water like a dream, how it had touched her cheek, cold and soft as river foam. She remembered the first time she had kissed it. She remembered the first time she had believed, and now she had to choose. She looked down at the lotus in her hand. It pulsed, faintly like a heartbeat. I don't know what to do," she whispered. The river did not answer. The frogs fell silent. The wind stilled. Even the crickets stopped their song. And then, from the far side of the river, a sound, a drum, low, deep, rhythmic. It began slowly, then grew thump, 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 like a heartbeat rising from the earth. The water trembled. The lotus in Amara's hand began to glow brighter, its petals unfurling in the night. The spirit's voice returned, urgent now. "They've found you," he said. "The ones who hunt what does not belong, the ones who fear what cannot be controlled. The Aro-Obi." Amara's blood turned to ice. The Aro-Obi, the river's judges. The spirits who kept balance between the world of the living and the world beneath the water. They were neither kind nor cruel. They were law, and they did not tolerate broken vows. She had broken her vow. She had tried to leave, and now they were coming. She scrambled to her feet, the lotus still clutched in her hand. The drumbeat grew louder, closer. From the jungle beyond the bank, shadows moved. Tall, silent figures wrapped in white cloth, their faces hidden beneath carved wooden masks of fish, crocodiles, and serpents. In their hands, they carried staffs tipped with river stones, and around their necks, necklaces of dried frog bones and river pearls. They stepped into the moonlight, and Amara knew she had only moments left. She turned to the river, her voice a plea. "I don't want to die." But the river was silent. She turned to the jungle. No one there. She turned to the lotus, and it spoke. Not in words, but in feeling, a flood of memory, of love, of pain, of a choice long ago, made in innocence, in hunger, in a moment of desperation so deep it had cracked her soul. And then the story began. It had been the dry season, the time when the rivers shrank and the earth cracked like old pottery. The village of Kwa had not seen rain in 3 moons. The yam fields were dust, the cassava withered. Even the sacred baobab, where the elders gathered to speak with the ancestors, stood bare and silent, its leaves curled like fists. Amara was 17, the youngest of 3 daughters, and the only one who had not yet been promised in marriage. Her older sisters, Neka and Chidinma, had already been given to sons of the blacksmith and the chief's cousin, their dowries paid in goats, cloth, and kola nuts. But Amara, clever, restless, with eyes that seemed to see too much, had no suitor. The elders said she was too proud. The women said she asked too many questions. The children whispered that she spoke to the wind. Her father, Obi, a farmer and part-time diviner, had begun to worry. A girl without a husband was a burden. A girl without a dowry was a curse. "You must find a husband, Amara," he said one evening as they sat by the fire, the air thick with the smell of roasted plantains and the faint tang of sweat. "Even if he is poor, even if he is old, a woman without a man is like a tree without roots. She will be uprooted by the first storm." Amara stirred the pot of agusi soup, her fingers quick and sure. "And what if I do not want roots, Papa? What if I want wings?" Her father laughed, but it was a dry, hollow sound. "Wings, you will fly into the mouth of the vulture." That night, she walked to the river. Not the main river, Osamiri, where the women washed clothes and the men fished, but the Njoku stream, a narrow, hidden channel that wound through the jungle like a snake's tongue. It was said to be haunted, the place where the Mamiwata danced at midnight, where the crocodiles grew as long as canoes, where the water whispered secrets to those who dared to listen. Amara came here often. She had always felt drawn to the water. When she was a child, she would sit on the bank for hours, watching the minnows dart beneath the surface, listening to the frogs sing their evening hymns. She had once seen a kingfisher dive, and when it rose, it was not with a fish, but with a shiny stone, a river pearl, round and white as a full moon. She kept it in a small leather pouch, tied around her neck. That night, the stream was low, the water barely covering her ankles as she stepped into it. She wore only a light wrapper, her feet bare, her hair braided with red thread, and a single cowrie shell. She had brought no lamp. She needed none. The moon was full, and the water glowed with a strange, soft light, like fireflies trapped beneath the surface. She knelt and began to sing. Not a song of joy, but a song of hunger. "River, mother of all streams, you who feed the fish and the frog, you who carry the dead to the deep, give me a sign, give me a way." She sang in Igbo, her voice low and trembling, the words shaped by the ache in her chest. She sang of her mother's worry, her father's silence, her sister's pity. She sang of the village girls who mocked her, who called her the girl who talks to water. She sang of the dreams she had, of cities beyond the jungle, of books she could not read, of a life not bound by the soil and the seasons. And then the water moved, not with the current, but with purpose. A ripple formed, not from a fish, not from the wind, but from beneath the surface. It widened, the water parted, and he rose, tall, pale, naked. His skin shimmered, wet and cool, like the inside of a snail shell. His hair was long and black, like riverweed, and his eyes, oh, his eyes, were deep and dark, like the pools where the crocodiles sleep. He had no gills, no fins, no scales, yet he was not of this world. He stepped forward, bare feet on the riverbed, water dripping from his arms like silver threads. "You called," he said. His voice was the sound of water over stones, of rain on leaves, of the river at midnight. Amara could not breathe. "Who are you?" she whispered. "I am the one who listens," he said. "I am the one who answers. I am the river's heart." She should have run, but she didn't. She wanted to believe. "You are a spirit," she said. "I am a husband," he replied. "If you will have me." She laughed, a sound of disbelief. "You are not human." "No," he said, "but I am real, and I can give you what you seek. Freedom, power, a life not bound by the village, the fields, the men who would own you." She looked down at her feet. The water swirled around them, warm, inviting. "What do you want in return?" "Your word," he said, "your vow, that you will come to me when the moon is full, that you will leave the world of men, that you will live with me beneath the water, where time does not pass and hunger does not bite." She hesitated. "And if I say no?" "Then you may go," he said, "and I will not call again, but the hunger will return, the silence, the weight of being unseen." She thought of her mother's face. tired and worried. Of her father's voice, heavy with duty. Of the village girls already married, already mothers, already bound. And she thought of the river that had always been there, the river that had listened. I will come, she said. On the next full moon, I will come to you. The spirit smiled, and then he kissed her, not on the lips, but on the forehead. And when his lips touched her skin, a shock ran through her, cold, electric, like diving into deep water on a hot day. She gasped, her vision blurred. When it cleared, he was gone. Only the water remained. And in her hand, where she had not held anything before, was a lotus blossom. White, perfect, unwilted. She clutched it to her chest and ran home, her heart pounding not with fear, but with hope. That night she dreamed. She dreamed of a city beneath the river, towers of coral, streets of river stones, houses made of woven reeds and fish bones. She dreamed of people, beautiful, pale, with eyes like moonlight, dancing in the current, singing songs in a language she did not know, but somehow understood. And she dreamed of him, standing at the edge of a great pool, holding out his hand. Come, he said, this is your home now. She woke with tears on her cheeks, and the lotus was still in her hand. She hid it beneath her sleeping mat. She told no one. But the next day, she began to change. She no longer ate much. The food tasted like dust. She stopped going to the market. She stopped laughing with the other girls. She spent her days at the Njoku stream, sitting on the bank, whispering to the water. Her mother noticed. Amara, you are sick, she said, pressing a hand to her forehead. You are burning. I am not sick, Mama, Amara said. I am waiting. Waiting for what? For the moon. Her mother frowned. The moon is always there. Not the full one, Amara said softly, the one that calls. Her mother crossed herself. Though the village was Christian, the old ways still lived in the blood. You are bewitched, she whispered. The river has taken your mind. That night, the full moon rose. Amara slipped out of the house, barefoot, her wrapper wrapped tight around her. She carried the lotus in a small basket, wrapped in red cloth. She walked through the jungle, the path familiar now, the sounds of the night, crickets, owls, the distant call of a hyena like a lullaby. She reached the Njoku stream, and he was waiting. He stood in the water, his body glowing faintly, his eyes fixed on her. You came, he said. I promised, she said. He stepped forward, took her hand. Then let us begin. He led her into the water, deeper, deeper. The current pulled at her, but she did not fight it. The water rose to her waist, then her chest, then her neck. She took a final breath, and then she sank, not into darkness, but into light. The river opened. A tunnel of water spiraled downward, glowing with bioluminescent algae, with schools of silver fish that darted like stars. The pressure did not crush her, the cold did not freeze her. She felt lighter, as if she had shed a skin. And then she was beneath, the city of the river. It was more beautiful than her dreams. Towers of coral, carved with patterns like the uli designs the women painted on their faces. Bridges of woven reed, floating on the current. Houses shaped like shells, lit from within by glowing jellyfish and fire eels. People, river people, moved gracefully, their bodies adapted to the water, their voices singing in a language of bubbles and clicks. And at the center, a great pool, the pool of reflection, where the water was so still it showed not just your face, but your soul. Amara stood there, naked, the lotus still in her hand, tears streaming from her eyes, but they did not fall. They floated. The spirit, her husband, took her hand. This is your home now, Amara, he said. You are no longer of the land, you are of the water, you are of the deep, you are mine. She looked around, and for the first time in her life, she felt seen. She was not a burden, not a daughter, not a wife-to-be. She was Amara, and she was free. For a time, she was happy. She learned to breathe the water, not with lungs, but with her skin, with the pores that now opened like gills. She learned to speak the river tongue, to sing the songs of the deep, to dance with the current. Her husband, Joku, as he was called, was kind. He showed her the secrets of the river, the hidden caves where the ancient ones slept, the tunnels that led to other rivers, the places where the Mami Wada left offerings of gold and mirrors. He gave her gifts, a necklace of river pearls, a mirror made of polished obsidian, a comb carved from whalebone. But most of all, he gave her attention. He listened to her. He saw her, and she loved him. But love, even in the deep, is not enough. One day she found a mirror. Not the one he had given her, but a real mirror, a shard of glass caught in a net brought down from the surface. She held it up and saw her face. But it was different. Her skin was paler, almost translucent. Her eyes were larger, darker, the whites faintly blue. Her hair was longer, tangled with river moss, and when she opened her mouth, her teeth were sharper, like a fish's. She dropped the mirror and wept. "What have I become?" she whispered. Joku found her. "You are becoming what you chose to be," he said. "You are becoming a river woman, a spirit of the deep." "But I am still human," she cried. "I still remember the sun. I still remember my mother's voice." "And that is your burden," he said, "and mine, for I love you, Amara, but love cannot stop time, cannot stop change." She looked at him. "I want to go back," she said, "just once, just to see them, to tell them I am alive." He was silent. "You know you cannot," he said. "The surface world rejects those who leave it. The land will not accept you. The people will not believe you, and if you return, the river will hunger for you." "I don't care," she said. "I want to see my mother." He sighed. "Then you must make a sacrifice," he said. "To cross the veil, you must give up a part of yourself, a memory, a feeling, a piece of your soul," she thought. "Take my fear of drowning," she said. "I have lived beneath the water for a year. I no longer fear it." He nodded. He took her hand and pulled. Not from her body, but from her mind. A memory of her first time swimming, of her panic, of her mother pulling her from the river, screaming, ripped from her. She cried out, not in pain, but in loss. But then she rose through the water, through the tunnel. Onto the bank. She was back. The jungle was darker, wilder, the air thick with the scent of rain. The moon was full. She ran through the trees, past the yam fields, to her village, to her home. She burst through the door. "Mama, Papa, I'm back!" Her mother looked up from the fire and screamed. "Ghost!" she shrieked. "The river has sent a ghost." Her father grabbed a machete. "Get out! Get out, demon!" "It's me," Amara cried. "It's Amara, I'm alive." But they did not believe her. Her mother fell to her knees, weeping. "We buried you. We poured libations. We said the prayers. You cannot be here." "I was taken by the river spirit," Amara said. "I married him. I lived beneath the water." Her father raised the machete. "No daughter of mine would consort with spirits," he roared. "You are not Amara. You are a dibia, a trick of the river." Amara backed away. "I am Amara." She screamed. "I remember your soup. I remember your lullaby. I remember the scar on your knee from the cassava knife." Her mother froze. "That scar," she whispered. "No one knows about that scar but me and Amara." She looked at the girl, pale, wet, wild-eyed, but with the same face, the same voice, the same spirit. Tears filled her eyes. "My child," she sobbed, reaching out. But then, a sound, a drum, low, deep, rhythmic. From the river, the Aro-Obi were coming. Amara turned. "They're here," she whispered. "They know I left." Her mother clutched her. "Stay, we'll protect you." "No," Amara said, pulling away. "If I stay, they will take you. They will take the village. I must go back." She turned to the door. "Wait," her mother cried, grabbing a small pouch from the shelf. "Take this. My mother gave it to me. A charm. For protection." She pressed it into Amara's hand. Amara looked at it, a small leather bag tied with red thread, smelling of dried herbs and river salt. She nodded and ran. Back to the river, back to Njoku. But something had changed. She could feel it. The river was angry. The water was colder, the current stronger. The spirits in the deep, her friends, avoided her. Even the fish darted away. When she reached the pool of reflection, Joku was waiting. "You broke the vow," he said. "I had to see them," she said. "I had to know they were alive." "And now you know," he said. "But the balance is broken. The Aro-Obi demand justice." "What justice?" she asked. "I love you. I chose you." "Love is not law," he said. "The river has rules, and you have broken them." He reached into the pool and pulled out a chain made of river stones, bound with reed, and at the end, a lock. "You must be bound," he said, "until the moon turns, until the river forgives." She looked at the chain. "And if I refuse?" "Then you will be cast out," he said. "Not just from the river, from all waters. You will be a dry soul, a woman without a home, without a people, without a name." She looked at him. "And you?" she whispered. "Will you cast me out?" He did not answer, but his eyes were full of tears. And she knew he would. because even love must bow to the river. She let him bind her. The chain was cold, the lock snapped shut, and she was trapped. For 7 days and 7 nights, she sat in the pool of reflection, the chain around her waist, the lotus still in her hand. She watched the river spirits pass. They did not speak to her. They did not look at her. Only one, an old woman with skin like bark and eyes like moonstones, came to her. "You are not the first," she said, "and you will not be the last. The river takes what it loves, and it loves deeply, but it does not forgive." "What do I do?" Amara asked. "You must make a choice," the old woman said. "Stay and be bound, or go and be forgotten." "Is there no other way?" "There is one," the old woman said, "but it is a price even the river fears to pay." "What is it?" "You must give up not just a memory, not just a fear, but a truth." "What truth?" "The truth of who you are." Amara looked at the lotus. "I am Amara," she said. "No," the old woman said. "You are the girl who married a river spirit. You are the daughter who returned from the deep. You are the woman who broke the vow, but you are not just Amara, not anymore." "Then what am I?" "You are the bridge," the old woman said, "between worlds, between life and death, between land and water, and the river will not let you go until you become what you are." Amara was silent. Then she stood and began to sing. The same song she had sung the night she called the river, but this time it was different. It was not a song of hunger, it was a song of truth. "River, mother of all streams, you who feed the fish and the frog, you who carry the dead to the deep, I am not your prisoner. I am not your bride. I am not your ghost. I am the girl who loved you, the girl who left you, the girl who returned. And I will not be bound by your chains, nor by your love. For love should not trap, love should not demand. Love should free." As she sang, the lotus in her hand glowed, brighter, hotter. The chain began to crack. The locks snapped, and the water roared. The Aro-obi appeared, tall, silent, their masks glowing in the dark. "You have broken the law." Their voices said as one. "You have defied the river." "I have spoken the truth," Amara said, "and the truth is stronger than law." The old woman smiled. "Then you may go," she said. "But know this, the river will always call, and you will always hear it, and one day you must choose again." Amara nodded. She took the lotus and rose, back to the surface, back to the bank. But this time, she did not run to the village. She stood at the edge of the water and waited. The moon was full. The drum began. The Aro-obi stepped from the jungle, and the river spirit, Joku, rose from the water. "You have defied us," he said. "I have spoken the truth," she said. "And what is the truth?" "That love should not demand sacrifice," she said. "That a woman should not have to give up her family to be seen. That a spirit should not have to bind a heart to keep it." The Aro-obi were silent. Then, one by one, they removed their masks. And beneath were faces of women, women who had once been brides of the river, women who had once been Amara. "We were like you," one said. "We loved, we chose, we were bound, we were forgotten." "But you are not forgotten," Amara said. "No," another said, "because we remembered ourselves." The river spirit looked at Amara. "You are free," he said, "but you will never be whole. The land will not accept you. The river will not forget you. You are between." "Then I will be between," she said. "I will be the girl who married a river spirit and could never return home, but I will be free." She turned to the jungle and began to walk, but not toward the village, toward the edge of the world, toward the place where the river meets the sea, where land and water become one, where the old woman had said, "The bridge is born." And as she walked, the lotus in her hand bloomed, and for the first time in her life, she was not afraid. She was Amara, and that was enough. The drumbeat faded. The Aro-obi stepped back into the shadows. The river spirit sank beneath the water, and Amara stood alone. The lotus in her hand began to fade. Its glow dimmed, its petals curled, and then it turned to dust. She let it fall and walked. The jungle swallowed her. But the river sang. And every night when the moon is full, if you stand by the Njoku stream and listen closely, you might hear it. A voice, singing, not of sorrow, but of freedom. And if you look into the water, you might see a face, pale, beautiful, with eyes like moonlight, and a lotus blooming beneath the surface. And so, my children, the tale is told, not of a girl who was lost, but of a girl who was found, not by the river, but by herself. For the greatest journey is not from village to water or land to spirit. It is the journey from fear to truth, from duty to desire, from being owned to being free. The river did not take Amara. She gave herself to it, and then she took herself back. And in doing so, she taught us all that no love, no tradition, no law, no matter how ancient, no matter how powerful, should demand the sacrifice of your soul. A woman's heart is not a cage, it is a river, and rivers flow. They do not stay still, they do not obey, they move, and so must we. Amara could never return home, but she found a new one, in the space between, in the silence after the drum, in the choice to speak. And so, when the river calls, and it will for all of us in different ways, remember Amara. Remember the girl who married a river spirit and could never return home, but who, in the end, returned to herself. And if you hear the drum tonight, listen, and know you are not alone. If the stories of the ancestors speak to your soul, if the rivers of Africa whisper in your dreams, then come, join us. Subscribe to African Haven Tales, where the old ways rise, where the spirits sing, and where every story is a bridge to the truth. Subscribe now and never stop listening.